3,000 years ago, Persian architects solved the summer heat problem. Not partially, not approximately. They built civic buildings in one of the driest deserts on Earth that maintained interior temperatures 8 to 12 degrees cooler than outside air during peak afternoon heat, with no electricity, no refrigerant, and no moving parts. The material at the center of the system cost almost nothing. It is still available at any pet store in America for $7. And the reason you have never heard of it has everything to do with a $150 billion industry that needed you to forget. The city of Yazd in central Iran sits in the Dasht-e Kavir, one of the most extreme desert environments on the planet. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The city has been continuously inhabited for over 7,000 years. For most of that history, it had no air conditioning, no electric fans, and no mechanical cooling of any kind. What it had was a system so effective that researchers from the University of New South Wales documented it in peer-reviewed literature and concluded that the buildings using it maintained interior temperatures consistently below outside air throughout the hottest months of the year. The system is called a badgir, a wind tower, a tall shaft built into or alongside a building with openings at the top to catch the prevailing wind and channel it downward into the rooms below. At the base of the shaft, Persian builders placed wet charcoal and saturated clay pots. Every breath of air entering the building was forced through that damp material before it reached the occupied space. The evaporation pulled heat from the air. The air arrived cooler, cleaner, and carrying less of the dust and particulates of the desert outside. The most famous surviving badger in Yazd stands 33 meters tall and has been functioning continuously since the 18th century, but the principle it uses was already ancient by then. Archaeological evidence places charcoal-based evaporative cooling in Persian architecture as far back as 1000 BCE. 3,000 years of proven performance in one of the most hostile climates on Earth. Here is the physics that makes it work. It takes 30 seconds to understand. You already know evaporation cools things down. It is your body's entire heat management system. Sweat evaporates, pulls heat from your skin, you cool down. The hotter and drier the air, the faster and more powerfully that process works. What activated charcoal does is take that principle and amplify it to a scale that seems impossible until you understand the material. A single gram of activated charcoal has a surface area between 500 and 1,500 square meters. That is not a misprint. 1 gram of material the size of your thumbnail contains the surface area of a large apartment. Every one of those microscopic pores holds water. When warm, dry air moves across a surface that wet, evaporation happens on an enormous scale relative to the size of the material. The air moving through loses energy to the phase change, and it comes out the other side measurably cooler and measurably cleaner, because activated charcoal simultaneously absorbs volatile organic compounds, odors, airborne bacteria, mold spores, and a range of particulates. The same material that water filter manufacturers put in their products. The same material used in air purifiers retailing for $200 to $400. Doing its job passively, continuously, for free, as long as it stays damp. The peer-reviewed literature on this is unambiguous. A 2018 study, published in the Journal of Post-Harvest Technology, measured inside temperatures running 10 to 15 degrees Celsius cooler than ambient air, using charcoal-based evaporative systems. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Engineering and Applied Science documented a maximum temperature drop of 11 degrees Celsius in a single room. These are not backyard experiments. These are controlled measurements of a system that Persian architects deployed at city scale 3 millennia ago. In a heat wave, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius is the difference between sleeping and not sleeping, between functioning and not functioning. And the material at the center of it costs $7. So why does almost nobody in the Western world know about this? The answer is not complicated. The modern air conditioning industry in the United States generates revenues of approximately $150 billion annually. The residential air conditioning market alone represents tens of millions of unit sales per year, each requiring professional installation, periodic maintenance, refrigerant recharging, and eventual replacement. A system that costs $7, runs on water, requires no professional installation, produces no emissions, and lasts indefinitely with basic maintenance is not a product. It is a threat. The Badger was not banned. It was not legislated away. It was simply never taught, never marketed, never incorporated into the building standards that determine how American homes are designed and built. The International Energy Conservation Code contains thousands of provisions governing mechanical cooling systems. It contains no provisions for evaporative charcoal cooling. The absence is not an oversight. It is a commercial outcome. Here's what the Persian architects knew and what the industry needs you to forget. Activated charcoal is the most porous natural material known to exist. A 500-gram bag, enough to fill a standard baking tray, costs between $5 and $8 at any pet store or online retailer. Spread in a layer 3 to 5 centimeters deep, saturated with water until the granules are fully wet, but not sitting in standing water, and placed in the path of incoming air, that tray will drop the temperature of air passing through it by 4 to 15 degrees Celsius depending on the ambient humidity and airflow rate. In dry climates, the American Southwest, Texas, Nevada, the Mediterranean, the Great Plains, the performance is dramatic and consistent. In humid climates, the effect is reduced, but the air filtration benefit remains regardless of humidity. The charcoal recharges by spreading it in direct sunlight for a full day once every month or two. Ultraviolet exposure and heat release the absorbed compounds from the pores and reset the material to full capacity. A $7 bag, maintained correctly, lasts an entire season. Placement determines whether the system works or does nothing. A damp charcoal tray sitting in the center of a room produces almost no measurable effect. The moist, cool air rises and mixes before reaching the occupied zone. The tray must be positioned at the air intake, the window or opening where outside air enters the space, so that all incoming air passes across the charcoal before it reaches the room. That single positioning decision is the difference between a curiosity and a functioning cooling system. It is also exactly how the Persian Badger worked. The charcoal was not placed randomly in the building. It was placed precisely at the point where incoming air had no choice but to pass through it. For animal enclosures, the application is even more compelling. Heat stress in poultry begins around 30 degrees Celsius and becomes fatal above 38 degrees Celsius. Ammonia and hydrogen sulfide build up in any confined animal space during summer heat, and activated charcoal is specifically documented to absorb both. A charcoal-filled frame mounted in the ventilation opening of a chicken coop, a rabbit hutch, a barn, or a kennel means every breath of air entering the space arrives cooler, cleaner, and carrying less of the compounds that cause both odor and respiratory stress in confined animals, not masking the problem with something else, chemically removing it. The standard North American air conditioner runs for roughly 750 hours per summer season. At average electricity rates, that represents between $150 and $400 in cooling costs, depending on the unit and the climate. It also produces refrigerant emissions, requires professional maintenance, and when it fails in the third week of a July heat wave, it fails completely and expensively. The system Persian architects engineered into the civic buildings of Yazd 3,000 years ago costs $7, runs on water, cools and filters, and deodorizes the air simultaneously, and works for a bedroom, a barn, a camper van, a dorm room, a greenhouse, a rabbit cage, or any other space with airflow and something worth cooling. We did not move past this technology because we found something better. We moved past it because someone found something more profitable. The Badger cooled entire city blocks in one of the harshest deserts on Earth for 3,000 years. It still works. The physics has not changed. The charcoal has not changed. The only thing that changed is Who profits from keeping your home at a livable temperature in summer? But there is a man in southeastern Utah who stopped waiting for permission. His name is Hank Lewis. He is the founder of Design Build Bluff, a design and build studio run jointly by the University of Utah and the University of Colorado, Denver. In 2011, Lewis and his students completed a home for a Navajo family in the high desert of southeastern Utah, using a central wind catcher tower as the primary cooling system. The tower is built from compressed earth bricks. 4 openings at the top catch the prevailing wind and channel it downward through the structure. Wet blankets, kept damp by a drip line, hang inside the tower. Every breath of wind entering the house passes through that damp material before reaching the living space. The evaporation drops the air temperature before it ever touches a person. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL, the federal government's own energy research institution, helped Lewis and his students engineer the system. A ceiling fan assists circulation. That is the complete mechanical system. A tower of compressed earth, wet blankets, a drip line, and a ceiling fan. No compressor, no refrigerant. No monthly utility bill for cooling. NREL signed off on the engineering. The project won the AIA Colorado Young Architects Award in 2011. It was covered by Architectural Record. The federal government's energy laboratory validated a 3,000-year-old Persian cooling system built into a house in the American desert, and nobody in the building code apparatus has mentioned it since. That is the loophole. Owner-builder provisions, university design build programs, and federal research partnerships can all provide pathways to build what the International Energy Conservation Code will not acknowledge. Lewis used all 3 simultaneously. The physics the code refuses to recognize does not require the code's permission to work. It just requires someone willing to build it. The knowledge is still available. The material costs $7. The Persian architects already did the engineering. NREL confirmed it works. A Navajo family in southeastern Utah has been living inside the proof since 2011. If this is the kind of information they would rather you did not have, subscribe now. Every week on this channel, we uncover the suppressed solutions, the forgotten systems, and the engineering knowledge that was quietly removed from the conversation the moment someone figured out there was no money in it. Next week, we go inside the ancient water harvesting system that collected drinking water from thin air in the middle of the desert, maintained crops without rainfall for 2,000 years, and has been sitting undocumented in archaeological records since the 1950s. The archive opens soon.